Before we start with today's video, I just had to add this little portion in. I want to apologize. Apparently we had a little problem with the camera, so some of the video is out of focus a little bit, but it's enough that you can see what's going on. So bear with me and, understand there are technical difficulties at times, but I thought this video was worth still uploading just to show you about the staining. How you doing? Last time we did a video about refinishing the first step. That was sanding the product down. Here's the sanded product. Today we're going to work on staining. When we stain, you got to understand there are a lot of different procedures for staining. Everyone has their own method. Everyone has their little things that work best. I'm going to show you brushing on and wiping off. I believe this is a great method. I'd rather use this multiple times to get a more rich color than to use it once and say, okay, looks good. The multiple coats is more penetrating, and I feel personally that it lasts longer. But like I said, everyone has different opinions on it. So, if someone feels a little different from this, feel free to post your comments. But let's keep everything in a positive mode, because I welcome your ideas, but I'm expressing my ideas and doing this for years. So let's talk about staining. There are plenty of different types of stains. What I'm using here is just a regular wood stain. Supposedly dries in 1 hour. Okay, depending on how thin you put it, you can do coats 20 minutes to half hour apart. I usually do them, wait about a half hour between coats. The way I used to apply it is, I'm going to show you in a little bit better detail, is I take the can, I take an old chipped wood brush, which a lot of people don't like because it does leave hairs, but you'll see how you avoid that. You dip it in the stain, brush a little on, and then we're going to take a rag and wipe it off pretty much right away. If you let it sit for a couple of seconds, it'll get a little darker. That's all to preference. So if you find that when you do your first coat, you're wiping it off and it's coming too thin, wait, do the next coat, but let it sit a couple of seconds more. When you brush it on fairly even, wipe all the excess. You're going to go through rags, but let me tell you, it's worth it. So, now let's show you a little bit about actually applying it. Okay, so now when you're staining, one of the things you want to be cautious of is you want to be prepared to do the surface and the sides of the surface at the same time, because you're going to get run over, and if you don't do the sides at the same time, what's going to happen is you're going to get marks and you're going to be resanding. So we're going to knock out this top piece first. I'm going to just brush it out and wipe it off. Now the rags I'm using are lint-free rags. That helps keep everything looking good. And, it's just a matter of watching for a minute. So let me go ahead and dip, brush, make sure I get the area nice. Notice I'm not worried about the direction of brushing, because the fact that I'm going to be wiping it. I'm worried about when I use my direction, I'm worried about making sure it covers everything. There we go. We got everything covered nice. Now we're going to wipe it down right away. Oops, I should have set up a bigger table here. Now when I wipe though, I'm wiping with the wood grain. That's a little more concerning to me. I'm going to brush out the edges real quick on this. Just remember what I said, you got to do the edges at the same time if you want it to be coated right. Now we're going to do in this video some areas where we're staining it on its side. I don't recommend that. I'm doing that for video purposes only. But I recommend, you know, you shift the product item around, and that you do every side with face up if possible. Almost done. One more side after this. And let's get this front end. Now this is actually the side, but for the camera view it's the front. And once again, I put my brush down. I take my rag, I wipe it real good. Try not to drop the rag. There we go. The rag will have a tendency to help it fill certain areas, but you might have to touch it a little bit. Okay, we're going to give it a touch here, just to get little spots that I want to get coated a little bit better. Beautiful. Here we go. Nice finished product. Now, when we're done with the staining, we're going to put a urethane coat on it to protect it. But as far as the staining, I'm happy with that. We're going to advance it forward. Give me a second as I place this. I'm going to work the sides. I'm going to adjust my table a little bit. And we're going to speed up the video so you can see what we're doing. But at the same time, you know, we're going to run it a little fast from here out. There, you see how easy that was. The only thing I'm going to warn you about is don't cover too much area at once. You know, generally when you're starting out, I would say do an area like this big only, then go to this side here, and then go to here, and continue that non-stop till you got the whole side done. For the simple reason, you'll have some stain drying and some stain still wet, and you're not going to get an even coat. But if you do it, spot it, and you spread it evenly, and you keep it going till the job's done, you'll find on small projects like this, you'll be able to get the whole thing done, and it'll look just like that. We're going to knock out the rest of this, and then we're going to advance to where the next step is. Okay, so now we stained all our pieces. As you can see, even the door, drawer, everything looks good. So the next step is to let this all dry. Shouldn't be leaning on it. Let's see, you get stained if you lean on it. Let it all dry. Then we're going to put a coat of urethane on it. We'll do a quick shoot about how to urethane it. We're not going to get too deep into it because it's pretty much the same principle. A couple of pointers I do want to make sure you know. When you're putting on stain, remember, stain goes a long way. You don't need a lot. You just need enough that you can spread it evenly. Also, work in a well-ventilated area. You know, you see I got the curtains behind me. There's a door behind the curtains that's wide open. So I got an airflow through here. So keep yourself well ventilated. Use gloves if you don't want to stain the heck out of your hands. And work safely. Goggles are always a good idea. You know, the stain is like a very liquidy, so it's going to splatter. So goggles are always good. And that's about it. So we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.